Welcome to the VideoMyJob pod, where we feature industry experts, on-the-tool practitioners, and VideoMyJob customers to help you activate your employer brand strategy and EVP. Welcome back to the show. I'm Megs, and in this episode, I'm speaking with Emma Lang, the APAC Employer Brand and Recruitment Marketing Lead at Haleon. Since launching in 2022, Haleon, home to iconic brands like Panadol, Sensodyne, and Centrum, has been on a mission to bring its internal culture to life through the power of employee storytelling. Now, Emma shares how her team embraced VideoMyJob to scale branded video content across the organization, build trust with talent, and turn employees into powerful brand advocates. Now, Emma and her team didn't just adopt video content for the sake of trendiness. They set clear objectives to drive meaningful outcomes, and this episode is packed with key takeaways for anyone looking to build or evolve the employer brand. So let's get into it. Emma Lang, welcome to the VMJ pod. I'm so happy because I've been an admirer from afar for a while now, and have loved seeing the great work you and your team are doing over at Haleon, and I'm so excited to unpack that with you today. So welcome.
Thank you. Good bit of fun to start a Monday morning with. I'm excited.
I know, something a little bit different, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now, to kick us off, Emma, can you tell us a little bit about your role at Haleon and a little bit about your team as well?
Sure, love to. So hi, everyone. Yeah, I'm Emma. I'm based in Singapore. So I'm the APAC Employer Brand Recruitment Marketing Lead for Haleon. And I'll come on to that in a moment in terms of who are we. But we're a great team. We're a small but mighty team, as I think many employer brand teams are across the globe. So there's myself that supports the whole APAC region. As part of our team, we have the amazing Claudia in Europe, Lisa in the Americas, and our great global head, Rianne, who leads employer brand recruitment marketing for us. So there's four of us globally as a team. And we're a pretty new team, actually. So as I mentioned, Haleon's a new company. We launched in July 2022. So that means we're going to be at 3 in July this year. So just in a couple of months' time. So we're really in our infancy as a team, but also as an employer brand as a whole, which brings a whole host of exciting challenges on a daily basis, which is great. And that's why I joined, is that we get to build this employer brand really from the ground up and look at the foundations and operational excellence, as well as much bigger campaigns as well. So it's a really exciting time to be part of the team.
That's so great to hear. And I think a lot of our listeners can relate to the small but mighty team as well, because I feel like within that employer brand space, it tends to be the case, isn't it? Now, before using VideoMyJob, Emma, how did you approach employee story content and what challenges did you face?
Well, that's a really good lean on, really, because we're so young, and we still are. I think we forget that sometimes. We certainly were doing work, but not to the scale that VMJ has allowed us to do and to unlock it, really. So prior to working with you at VideoMyJob, we had our kind of official corporate assets as part of our social campaign and launch campaign. We were always trying to unlock some quote cards, some what we call EVP moments that matter. So, when we could celebrate things and really bring the inside out and tell that story externally. But it became quite apparent as a team that we were missing the employee storytelling part of our strategy as a team. And how could we unlock that? But most importantly, as a team, what we always try and do is, how do we unlock that at pace and scale? Because we are a small team, the last thing we want to do is be a blocker. So anything and everything we do, we try and as a scale to unlock it, so we can enable others to be employer brand advocates and help us create content. So that was really one of the trigger moments where we identified the potential need for VMJ. So we weren't particularly doing much video content before, let alone more employee generated content, so more authentic storytelling. And as Haleon, as I mentioned, actually, we've probably got two special ingredients to help us with our EVP and our employer brand, and that's our people. We've got 26,000 employees globally, which is amazing. And again, how do we unlock that? How do we get them to tell stories? And our second is certainly what people perhaps do know us for, which are our amazing portfolio of power brands. So Haleon makes the likes of Panadol, Sensodyne, Centrum, Polident, Otrivin, Eno, and so many more. So we're really this fantastic house of brands with such a brilliant purpose to deliver better everyday health with humanity. And that really resonates, and the brands provide that recognition. But really listening to the business and candidates really early on in the journey, and listen to our recruiters, the questions were, who are you? What are the people like? What's the culture like? What's the job like? And again, all of this was signaling the need for to create more content to bring the inside out and showcase it. And that's, yeah, as I mentioned, a bit of a trigger point for us to identify VideoMyJob or other work streams and tools that could help us do that.
Yeah. And I think so important there as well, because, you know, you could tell them what Haleon is, but they don't want to hear from you, right? They want to hear from the people doing the job. They want to hear from the people who are living and breathing your culture. And that's who they will end up believing. So it's so great that you guys, knew that it's your people that you need to really showcase and how to do that essentially.
Yeah. And even with that, actually, sorry, there's probably two really interesting candidate behavior insights there. Is absolutely, we know the research, talent's more likely to believe the stories of what employees are saying, just as you and I would for a holiday review or a restaurant review. We're looking at that in addition to the corporate website. That's really powerful. But also we know as an organisation, as we are unknown and we're growing, candidates are more likely to do their research on us. So they're going to go out and proactively, who's Haleon? What do they do? And again, what's this job like? So as they do more research, as they would anyway for an employer, but perhaps even more so for the lesser known ones, we need to make sure the content is being served to them and it's compelling, it's engaging, and it's going beyond what's on the corporate website, where we're telling more of a story that's linking back to that authentic part that's going to resonate.
Yeah, no, absolutely agree with that. And how long have you been using VideoMyJob, Emma, and what prompted the decision to adopt the platform? I kind of feel like you touched on that a little bit, but yeah, would love to get your experience.
Yeah, so some of those points we've discussed already. We've been using VideoMyJob for about a year and a half now. So we were in a really great position where we started with the 3-month pilots with you guys back in 2023. And we've worked with you the whole of last year as well, 2024. And that really helped us start that journey with the pilot piece, which I know we're going to more as well of how we approach that. But that really helped us get off to the right start and really assess the platform and look at the learnings and if it would support us. And in all those goals I just mentioned, those need points, would it be a suitable platform and partner to help us achieve those goals? And always coming back to that point of us as a team, is it ultimately going to help us scale and make an impact as well?
Yeah. And talking about the goals, can you, for our listeners, can you point out some of the 2 to 3 key goals that you had when you first decided you were going to implement the platform, particularly doing the pilot program? What were those key goals you wanted to do initially? And then if there was anything else ongoing after the pilot program that you wanted to keep doing?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I guess a bit of a thank you actually for that pilot program, because it was really helpful for us, because it's really important to be agile as a bit of a startup in a new company. The ability not to having to overcommit for a year helped in itself in terms of what we wanted to achieve. So just knowing that we could work with something in such an agile way for the first few months was really helpful. For us, the first kind of 3 kind of key priorities for that pilot would have been, as I mentioned, ultimately as a team, does it help us? Does it help us make an impact for the business and achieve our goals of raising awareness and supporting that recruitment funnel? Does it help us scale our efforts? The second absolutely is around adoption and actual use of the tool, almost linking to that scaling bit. It's fantastic bringing in new tech and new tools for our recruiters to use and for us to use. But again, if they do not get adopted or the experience isn't a positive one, it's not going to succeed further down the line. So the adoption rates and the implementation and just that general feedback was really important to us to see if it would be worthwhile in the longer term. And I think the third I've kind of hinted towards a little bit is around protecting the brand. So as a new employer brand, we need to make sure we're going out to market on brand in a really intentional way. We're honouring the brand guidelines, as everybody at Haleon does. So we're not diluting it, we're not creating mixed messages, and it's on point. And knowing that the tool at VMJ provides us with that safety harness in a way, the intro frame, the outro frame, the colours, it's preset. We can't break it, our users can't break it. And that's also really important to us as a team right now as well. So those would have been our kind of 3 priorities when we were implementing it, that we keep an eye on it. But a lot of it, again, would come back to the adoption and therefore the usage and therefore the data. So making sure we were really working at pace during those 3 months to create a lot of video content. So without the quantity, it's then hard to measure the impact so much. Quality is really important, which I can talk more to, but making sure the volume was there. So we could actually step back and look at that 3-month pilot with data, with insights, with learnings, with good user adoption, and listen and see, did it serve its purpose? Did it work? Or, where do we need to tweak it to make it work even harder for us the following year if we wanted to continue, which we did.
Yeah, amazing. And for those that are listening who can really sort of resonate with everything you've just said in terms of the goals that you want to achieve and how you want to achieve that, Emma, firstly, how did you build your business case for getting VideoMyJob on board? Did you have to do that for the pilot program? If yes or no, depending. Also, did you once you did have the pilot program and once you got the results for that, can you talk us through what that journey to get VideoMyJob on board, ongoing for your business looked like as well? Yeah, can you tell us about that experience?
Absolutely. I think we're really fortunate here at Haleon that a lot of our leaders and stakeholders appreciate the position we're in as a team in terms of a small but mighty team. And I think also the mammoth task of raising awareness of Haleon as an employer of choice is going to take time. But again, that strategic need to scale, to be a little bit more thoughtful in the approach. So it's not tactical, it's not bitty, how we're approaching things to support immediate goals, but also longer term goals. And we certainly think that way. And I think, again, as I mentioned, we're fortunate that our leaders and stakeholders see the value in that and the position we're in. And also showing that we're listening to the business and the candidates. We know what the pain points were. We knew candidates were asking these questions. We knew we wanted to create more content. So how could we try and bring that together, and what were some of the solutions? And one of that we're proposing was VideoMyJob. Now, I don't think the platform of video itself was questioned at all. I always say, think about probably you and I today, the amount of video content we've probably consumed personally already, just as we scroll or we're checking updates. We know the power of video, whether it's highly produced ones or more, as we talk about authentic, engaging, on the day kind of video content. I think that in itself was actually really well received, that we could suddenly create a lot of video content at scale. It was more around making sure that we were ready for a pilot. We were set up as a team to launch it and implement it and support it from the training perspective. The users were ready. So obviously it's not just us. We launched it across the whole recruitment team globally in-house. So sharing a really intentional 3-month pilot with them. How were we going to launch it? The training up front. We even kind of knew, knowing it was coming, we were preempting it with the leadership team, with the recruiters. Next month, this will be here. So it wasn't a brand new thing on day one. We really tried to maximize that length of the pilot. So as soon as we did have access, we were ready to roll. Templates were approved and we could start creating video content. So we really made sure, I guess, the accountability on us as a team was there to drive this 3-month pilot. It's getting the buy-in from the stakeholders to get it going. And then the ongoing monitoring, the training, the reporting back, the listening, the involving as well, to, again, see if it is something that would be worthwhile progressing with moving forward. So I think that worked particularly well for us in getting that over the line.
Amazing. And I think, you raised some really great points there that I hope really resonates with some of our listeners in terms of like how they take that forward and what they do to get that ongoing buy-in from their company as well. So thanks for sharing that, Emma. Now, have you seen benefits since rolling the platform out? And can you talk us through some of those benefits that you've already seen?
Yeah. And I think the benefits then really helps with our business case moving forward as well, from moving it from the 3 months to the longer term full year contract as well. So for us, as I mentioned, it's all about data. I always believe without data as an employer brand team, it's hard to have that seat at the table to show the impact and the influence. So the ability that it was also not a tool that allowed us to scale as a team, it provided us with some really great insights and data. I love the analytics behind the story feed dashboard that we've got to show the engagement rate, the candidate experience, importantly the click-through rate from the videos to our jobs is really great. And it's quite nice to see what videos are performing well. If we've intentionally created some around certain themes and topics, how are they performing? And giving that insight back to the employees themselves as well to show the impact they're having is really important. But as I mentioned, I think the benefits have directly linked back to those objectives. They've definitely unlocked us as a team to create content at scale. It's given us massive cost avoidance or cost savings with an agency and the time spent in doing that. And I think we sometimes forget to look back on the achievements. I think what's been achieved in the last year and a half with VMJ is phenomenal in terms of launching it, implementing it, having the adoption there, creating way over 100 videos, and the cost avoidance that's achieved as a result, to having it now seen as a bit of a expectation. It's a bit of a standard within our employer brand recruitment marketing tech stack, as we call it. The fact that all of our recruiters globally have access to VMJ to support them on their day-to-day recruitment marketing needs is quite unique. Not everyone has that. So the fact that we're able to bring that to the table and continue to support it is really great. So I love the fact that we've done all of that in the space of about 18 months is amazing, whilst protecting the brand, whilst bringing our people to the forefront, and we continue to do so as well. And I think to do that in terms of the benefits, but also continue with that adoption piece and the business case study, we try and create quarterly updates on the usage of VideoMyJob, where we highlight a lot of those points I mentioned. But for me, what's really the icing on the cake is the feedback we're getting back from the recruiters or the candidates themselves, to show again that we're always listening. You know, what are the common questions, and therefore could we create videos off the back of that to support and inform the talent, but also what are they saying back to us? So in addition to those, I guess the standard but very powerful metrics that any technology brings with them with VMJ, there's also that, and I've printed some off that I'll read, because I think it's really important to show that we're getting that insight from the consumers. So 3 really quick examples here. There's ones of from a recruiter, lots of positive feedback about a post that this recruiter posted with a video included to support recruitment marketing. So it was a I'm hiring for type of job. She noticed applications increased. They now have 2 candidates moving forward to an interview. This is due to more suitable applicants, which were not getting prior to the video being posted. So just hearing that and knowing that it's making an impact really helps. And I also think it really helps with the adoption across recruiters in their day-to-day. Others have said, one recruiter shared that they saw a 3-time increase in applications after this particular video was shared through passive communications, which is really important. It's not just posting on LinkedIn. It was really trying to tap into a niche market. And then the last one, which comes back to more positioning, employer branding, and just raising awareness of who we are as well, which is probably one of my favorites. As a young woman entering the workforce, seeing someone like the HR director of Haleon representing the organization in such a sincere and genuine manner is inspiring. It makes me excited about the possibility of joining a company where female leaders are celebrated and valued. So having that kind of just proactively shared by one of the candidates to the recruiters really wraps up the power of video itself, and obviously then the power of the platform of VMJ that it's bringing to us, how it's enabling us daily, but also longer term, because obviously these videos, we host them as long as we can, right? So making sure there's a clear strategy of using them on story feed on the careers site, our recruitment comms, our other talent engagement activity, and more is really important. So to top that off in terms of the benefits, in addition to the data, and always scaling our impact is brilliant to hear.
That is incredible feedback that you got, Emma. Wow, you must. I mean, it makes me feel happy, you know, from being the product marketer at VideoMyJob. But I can imagine it must make you feel so excited as well, given that, you know, it's all this work that you've done in such a short space of time, 18 months, to then get the feedback that you're getting. And incredible that, because I mean, when you're putting videos out there, I mean, there's nothing better than getting that engagement back. And as it is, it's letting us know that, okay, what you're putting out there is resonating with people. They're enjoying what you know, the videos that you're putting out there, or it's answering, it's giving the answers to the questions that candidates might have, or, you know, anything along those lines, which is so great. And I think you've touched on a little bit about it before as well. I just wondered whether you did want to extend on it, but what effects, because it sounds like there is an empowerment piece within your business. You having a platform to be able to create content at scale. Can you talk us a little bit more about how that has empowered your team, and anything that you're wanting to sort of unpack on that front?
Yeah, I think it's adding to that. I guess it's the empowerment piece. It allows us to think longer term and what else can we do in addition to this. Now, if we're looking at campaigns that are coming up, for us now, this is one of the natural ways to create content and execute it through the platform in VMJ. So again, it's just given us more tools to go out and do what we need to support, whether it's around a wider employer branding campaign, to recruitment marketing and traction activity, or something that could be quite bespoke. There's quite often always a place where we can try and use VMJ to help us do that, which is a great place to be in as a team. As I say, and I think many of your listeners are probably in a similar situation of having to do more with less, and knowing that we've already got this in our back pocket is really great for us to have as a team. I'm just trying to think other ways of empowerment. I think what's really nice in terms of, as I just mentioned, the feedback and the data, and as we share that back to the users and also the employees who have been featured, it just naturally helps with further adoption as well. People kind of get over that fear of, oh, it was a little bit scary and here's the video. And actually, once they've done it, it's not as bad as they thought. Then they see the great feedback or the data as a result. And then they're more inclined to do another video for us, or nominate someone in their team, going, oh, you should speak to this person, or this person's just joined. And it just naturally starts to flow. So knowing the appetite is there, and also people are having this positive experience, again, it always links back to empowering us as a team a little bit more.
Yeah. And because you touched on adoption there as well, Emma, can you talk us through, you know, it sounds like, you know, your business has really taken on the platform and they're using it and they're enjoying using it. But I talk to many customers, and I know that's not always it's not as easy as, oh yeah, we've got a new platform, like everyone's just going to adopt it and use it immediately. So were there any initial adoption issues? And I mean, you already mentioned on how you've overcome that, but was there anything in addition to, you know, obviously getting some of that content, being able to take it back to the business, showing them the results? Was there anything else, or in those initial stages, that helped you at least just get it across the line before it got adopted broadly from the business?
There's probably two parts for us in terms of adoption, whether it's us as the users, and by that I mean the employer brand team, or perhaps typically the recruiters, and then the employees we're featuring. So I think the adoption with us as a team, and the majority across all of our recruiters, rolled pretty well. We were supported really closely by you and the team at VMJ. We were running during the pilot monthly drop-in sessions and training. We created a dedicated pack. So we were always on hand in case we needed a bit of extra support to keep things moving, to show the impact it could have at pace, was really important to us. So that worked really well. And the app is really intuitive. It's pretty straightforward. So that there wasn't too many barriers there. It's just getting it used to being part of that tech stack I mentioned, which it now is. And again, that's going to take time. We're 18 months on, and I think it's just, seen to be kind of as standard there.
Yeah.
The employee feature part is always the hardest part, getting people actually on camera and making the time to do so more than anything, because everyone's very busy, understandably. So that's always one of the trickiest parts. And as I mentioned, once you've always got the natural advocates, those that want to put the hand up, want to do more, those that are very comfortable in being in front of the camera. We went straight to those people first to help us lead by example, help us get the quantity, as I mentioned, but also good quality as well. And the more we were seeing of that, the more confident, the more empowered our employees were to then go do more, or others to put their hands up. So I think that really helped. The areas where there might have been slight challenges around adoption or perhaps the approach were things such as scripts. So people were wanting that perhaps comfort blanket of, could you provide me a script? And for our approach was pretty hard. Just, no, we want to hear in your own words, in your own authentic way. Here's some questions, some prompter questions to get you going. But we don't want to draft it for you. Otherwise, it's going to sound just like our corporate website and our more perhaps official material. That's really not the intention or the purpose of this videos and VMJ. And I think it's been really clear about that. If we were to do a high production video with an agency, you've got dedicated time put aside for it, you're going to storyboard it, you're going to script it, and you can be very prepared. And that's absolutely fine. But that's not, again, that will slow us down. That's not the purpose of VMJ. So it was removing that comfort blanket of a script. However, the script prompter that VMJ has is the natural support system behind it to say, well, you can write your own script. You can put it in the platform, they can read it, and that helps a lot. So that was really helpful for us. And I think that the second part, learning around adoption and use, was around just editing as well. So you can have a great 2-minute video or 3-minute video, and I'd always encourage people to just keep filming as we are today. We can slice and dice out any edits or stumbles, or if you want to say it again. So quite often I can get 5 or 10 minutes worth of a video and I can create 2 or 3 off the back of it. But I also think sometimes the art is in finding the little nuggets. There's 10, 15, maybe 20 seconds where they've just naturally said something that's on point in their own authentic way. And it's just snipping that and using that as a video. And they always perform really well. They're also quite liked by our brand team as well. So they're more likely to be featured on our global corporate channels as well. So it's also the art of, I think, probably us and the team around editing as well and maximizing the most out of it.
Some great takeaways there, Emma. Thank you so much for sharing that. Now, you did mention a bit about engagement, but what were some of the key what were some of the key metrics or outcomes that's improved since you've integrated VideoMyJob into your strategy?
Yeah. If I think back and I can picture our quarterly dashboard in terms of those metrics, I mean, again, the story feed analytics are fantastic, and we're just continuing to see it grow in terms of engagement with that when people are coming to our careers site, which is great. That shows that throughout many sources, we're continuing to attract people to us and raise an awareness of Haleon. And when they do land on our careers site, they're staying, they're engaged, and they're having that positive candidate experience, because I love the candidate experience pop-up you guys have. But again, most importantly, at the end of the day, we're supporting that recruitment funnel. The amount of people that are clicking on searching jobs after viewing our videos is really important. And that click-through rate typically is always above 22% for us, which is fantastic. So we're really happy with the data points that we're seeing, alongside those additional ones, as I mentioned, that we add in, whether it's the cost avoidance, that I try and get the monthly or quarterly feedback from a recruiter or from a candidate. So we're listening as well. So I think that's really important, and to always regularly show the data and impact, not just to our stakeholders, but to our user base. So typically the recruiters and our employer brand champions, and also back to the employees to thank them again and remind them of why this is really important to us and the impact they're having, because it's truly helping.
Oh, that's so great. And I'm glad that you take it. I don't often hear, I mean, it's probably happening, but I don't often hear people I speak to on the pod say, oh, we take it back to the people who filmed the video and we say, hey, like look at this great thing. Like it's more just they might see it obviously on LinkedIn or any of those things. And it's I can imagine that would feel so empowering for them as well. And just knowing, because it can sometimes be quite a nerve-wracking thing doing videos. And so when you're putting something out there and you're just knowing that what you're getting back is it's creating something really positive, and they're getting great feedback for it, which again would probably feed into some more of your adoption, any adoption challenges that you might face as well. So thanks for that, Emma.
I think it's a really important point, and something we're always trying to do more of. And again, seeing how we can scale that as we're trying to open up VMJ to more employees. But exactly to that point, it's our employees that are taking the time out of their busy day to create a video. It's a bit daunting, so it's a big ask from them, and their content is so powerful. But also reminding them of, it's turning them more into advocates. They're more likely to do it again in the future. They'll remember it. They might become the next hiring manager, and therefore they're going to adopt it again further down the line. So I think it's a really important route to always close that feedback loop. They've taken the time to provide content with us, and all too often, because we're busy in our day-to-day and we're focused on execution, onto the next thing, we do forget to circle back. But I think it helps to fulfill the future pipeline and ask of ambassadors.
Oh, absolutely. I can see how that would just feed into that cycle for sure. And Emma, it could be for you personally, or if you wanted to speak on behalf of your team, but what has been the biggest win or success or most rewarding moment since implementing VideoMyJob into your business?
I think I have two, and one is around, as I mentioned it, I think, well, at least we do as a team, we always see it now as just part of our EBRM, Employer Brand Recruitment Marketing Tech Stack, with some of our other tools and toolkits that we have. VMJ just has a place there. So again, the success has shown how that's just been adopted there. People understand what it is. It's being used across the business. And to that point, it's being used globally. It's not just for the priority markets. Sometimes it's the priority markets that might get the budget or the extra support for campaign work. This has been supported across all of the markets that we support, which is great. So more around the adoption of where we've got it to in such a short amount of time through so much change as a company has been great to see. My personal favourite has been briefing and explaining what VMJ is to two senior leaders here in APAC who were doing quite a lot of hiring at the time. Again, explain what it is, the why, the how impactful their quick elevator pitch could be, just 30 seconds. They're recruiting quite a lot of people for their team. Why should they come join your team in these locations? And they got it. They didn't need a script prompter. The next day I woke up with their videos in my inbox, turned it around. And that's the other part, not for certain users and obviously the senior leaders, we're not expecting them to do the editing. Ping it to me. The magic happens within half a day. It's back to them for approval. They approved it so quickly. I think we had these videos live within 2 to 3 working days of me explaining what VMJ is to having approved, finished 2 videos for them each, elevator pitch videos that our recruiters were then going to use. And one of them was actually that second quote around improving the passive outreach and getting a much better response by using this person's video. Again, that was awesome. It got adopted, it was understood. We turned it around at scale very quickly at pace, and it went to make an impact within the following week. So by far, that was one of my best highlights personally.
I love that, Emma. That is so good. And I can imagine how just rewarding that must have felt as well, getting that done so quickly and also just getting them to have done it so quickly. Because I know sometimes you send a request and then it's like, yep, no, I'll get to it. But for them to be like, okay, I get it. Let me get this done, get it to you. And for you to then turn it around so quickly and show them what that end product looks like. And then for the engagement to happen from there is just, it's incredible. So yeah. I can see how that would have been a great moment for you.
Absolutely. And actually to that point, because they were both, they weren't based in Singapore, they were both UK based. So yes, to brief them virtually and not be there to perhaps
Yeah.
remind them or coach them. Because absolutely, that's the hardest part. As I mentioned, we appreciate how busy our employees are. So the fact that they did prioritize it and make time for it is, for me, it's how a hiring manager should be. And it was a really fantastic experience. But it's tricky because quite often if I'm in the office and people see me walking around with the camera, like, oh, Emma's about, because quite often I can't do a quick video. And it's much easier if you're in person because you can have a bit of fun with it. But the majority of the time we're not in person, we're not in the office. And that's where we're having to create our employer brand champions through our recruiters who are on the ground in the different offices globally to help us do that, or other ambassadors that we have, or just work with the employees directly as well and help them through that, because it's hard to do.
Yeah. Oh, I can imagine. But well done. You guys, like I said before, you guys have done so much amazing things in such a short period of time. So you should feel very proud, you and your team. Lastly, Emma, looking back, has the platform met your expectations? And would you recommend it to others looking to elevate their employer brand?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, so I mentioned those goals for us around always as a team, we're really mindful and we're always striving to unlock at pace, as I mentioned. And VMJ is certainly continuing to help us do that from the pilot to the whole of last year and this year, and maintaining that then. So obviously there's a continuous focus and work stream to now manage VMJ in the best possible way and make it work as hard as it can for us. It's certainly met all our expectations there. And the fact that we have regular catch-ups with you and Alex and the team is really helpful, and being part of some of the other work streams that are coming up, the beta testing with VMJ. I'm really excited by some of the AI tools, how we can look to create perhaps other content out of the raw form of the video, whether it's into quote cards or longer form articles. Again, it's the hand, isn't it? We're scaling and creating more with less, which is really important for us. So we've really valued the partnership. I felt it's been really open. We've had some really good conversations of where we'd love to see other things develop, or how can we do things better. Hearing best practices has really helped us as a team. So we've really enjoyed using it. So thank you and the team for that.
Oh, thank you so much, Emma. And it's been so great to hear all about your journey and also the successes you guys are having with VMJ over there. And look, we're such champions of Haleon, and I kind of feel like I speak on behalf of the business here. We're always referencing you guys as being the ones to watch and the ones that are doing such a great job. So yeah, look, we just look forward to seeing how you guys continue to evolve in this space. And yeah, thank you so much for taking the time to have a chat with me today, Emma.
No worries, it's been fun. Thank you.
Thanks. Thanks so much for listening to today's episode. If you want to learn more about activating your employer brand strategy and EVP, then check out podcast.videomyjob.com for a library of industry perspectives and how-tos. Now, if you're ready to level up your activation strategy, then you need an employee story video platform, and that's what we do. Go to VideoMyJob.com/demo to book a walkthrough with one of our video specialists, or click on the pricing page to learn about our new 90-day pilot program. Lastly, we would love for you to help us spread the word about the VMJ pod to attract new experts and practitioners to share their activation strategies. So please take a screenshot of wherever you're listening and post it on LinkedIn. Don't forget to tag us, as we're so grateful when you do that.